I hate videos. Now you may be I hate videos. Now you may be wondering, if I hate videos, what the heck am I doing here? Woohoo! Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Wonder Women Wednesday. We're going to be chatting with Jaclyn Zoccoli, and she goes by Jackie. And we're going to be talking essentially about feeling at ease because you trust your internal guidance. So, really, essentially about faith. And I'm excited because I get to spend some time with all of you and, of course, with her. If you and I have not met yet, my name is Inge van Roy, and I'm recognized as a community connection catalyst. I help people build community so that they can make more friends and money. So if you need help with that, please send me a message. Let's check out how we can work together. If you're watching live, please drop us a comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from and also what's in your cup. What are you enjoying today? I am recovering from being under the weather, so I'm drinking water. But many people enjoy a cup or two of coffee or even tea. So send us a message. Let us know where you are, what you're drinking, and what kind of questions you have for Jackie and I. Without further ado, why don't I add Jackie to the stream and let's welcome her. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you so much, Inger. It's wonderful to be with you and to be part of your world. I love it. I love it.
I love having you here, so thank you so much. Jackie, before we move forward, why don't you introduce yourself? Let everyone know who you are and what you do, please.
Yeah, my name is Jackie Zoccoli, and I usually tell people that's broccoli with a Z so that you get the idea. And if you don't like broccoli, wing it. So, what I do and I'm excited about is just about what Inger said. I couldn't have said it better about what she does. In other words, it's bringing people together in all parts of the world to, in my case, to literally help the self sustainability of the populations of the world to increase love, prosperity, and peace. So I bring them resources. And at this point, and always, I'm doing that mostly through my internet with LinkedIn to be able to build those alliance teams.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Welcome. I'm looking forward to the conversation. Before we move forward, let's say hello to the people that are tuned in. We have Christine von Pander. She is situated in outside of Vancouver in BC, Canada. She says she's so happy to be able to attend live today. We love having you here. Hello, Christine. And then we also have Catherine. She says, I'm here. I promise not to cause trouble. Okay, you know that's a lie. I promise not to cause too much trouble.
Trouble, that's better.
Oh, Catherine, we love you. She is tuned in from Alabama. And I love to see the interaction happening. So, Catherine and Christine are chatting to get to with each other, and Catherine says, I'm Catherine, encourager extraordinaire, and I'm tapping in from Lake Guntersville, Alabama. In my cup, we don't talk about that. Oh
Okay.
my gosh. Um, okay, and Jackie, what do you have in your cup?
Water. Sorry, plain and simple. Are you kidding? If I had anything other than water, that might be a whole different presentation.
That's okay. I'm drinking the same. So, Jackie, let's dive in. Um, won't you please share with us a little bit of your career journey from, where you started to how you got to where you are today and what you're doing?
Okay. I like to think of where I started, mostly crafted by my mother. Um, I'm literally from California originally. That has much of nothing to do with it, except it really does in the long run. My father died when I was 6, so that was the first trauma in my life. And unlike most people who have a lot of traumas in their childhood, I did not, other than that. However, that trauma did bring me enlightenment. And that enlightenment was that God told me at that point, this is the worst thing that's going to happen to you, and I will be caring for you the rest of your life. Listened to that as a child. And the rest of my childhood, my mother helped to shape by being able to put me into groups, Girl Scouts, Job's Daughters, the church, all of these different groups that really molded the person I became. And when I think about it, it was all service oriented, really was service oriented. And the point of the California was that I grew up in all white San Leandro, California, which now is just the opposite. However, at the time, it was okay. I didn't know any different. So what? So what? And then she had me go to Girl Scout camp in Oakland, which was very black. And I thought, this is cool. I like this. This is fun. There's a whole nother group of people. Then, when I went into the sorority, and the seeds were being planted at this point, the childhood seeds were being planted. And I went into the sorority and met wonderful women, girls at that point, and made new friendships, so on and so forth. And it was a mixed group of people. However, from that experience in the sorority, I met someone who introduced me to my first husband, which was very important in my life because I have 2 children because of that. The second was that someone introduced me also there, from there, to the Peace Corps. And I joined the Peace Corps in to go to Liberia, West Africa, which turned out to be very important to me and to actually craft 50 years later my global reach. So you can see how literally my childhood began the foundation, began the roots for where I went. And once I got into the Peace Corps, I'd already had college education to be a teacher, got into the Peace Corps, and everything kind of changed. I did go through the corporate world enough to know I didn't want to be there. And I started my own business in desktop publishing. Some of you may be old enough to know what that term means. I helped people to do marketing materials, and then I taught them on how to use CorelDRAW and PageMaker in the community college systems. So at that point, I was in a chamber conference room, and I was looking around, and I said, $250 for a plaque on my wall. It's not going to work for me. So I began their networking groups and showed them how to build relationships, not based on here, buy my widget, but instead here, let's get to know each other. And that began my strong suit in coaching, in being a network coach. And I created networking groups all over the Bay Area in California. Then 50 years later, which sounds like a lifetime, and it is literally for most of you, meaning you can start later, is my whole point. I ran into a woman. I moved to Arizona, and I ran into a woman who we call an indigo, and that woman's here for the second time, literally here for the second time. And she looked at me and she said, "You don't know, do you?" And I said, "Oh, what do I know?" And she said, "You're here to change humanity." I
Mm.
said, "What? What are you talking about?" Well, I cried all the way home and I created my mantra, which is my age justifies my wisdom.
Mm.
My developed clarity teaches the excitement of awareness and ignites the spark of action and change. And from
Beautiful.
then on, everything changed. Everything completely changed. I became part of a group called the International Youth Parliament, and it's youth from 16 to 29-year-olds working in countries all over the world through the UN SDGs to increase love, prosperity, and peace. And I mentored these people. I'm still mentoring almost intimately about 6 of them, and to be able to help them to grow. And in that interaction, I talked to Pakistan and I said, "What do you need?" "Oh, well, I need food, and water, and all the basic things." And as I realized what they needed, I thought, "Oh my gosh, I can answer those things. I know the people to be able to do that." And so
Yes.
I began to say, "What do I do?" And that began a whole other story. Would you like me to go on more about that, Inger, or you want to?
Yes, please. Yes.
So once I found what their needs were, I said, "God, what do I do? I have the answer for all of
Yeah.
them." And God said, "Well, you start with literacy and you start at home." I'm like, "I can do that.
Mm.
Okay, I'll figure that out." And at that point, what came on my path was what's called footsteps, the number two, brilliance. Footsteps to Brilliance. And I forgot to put that in the chat. Footsteps to Brilliance. And it's a gamified literacy app that takes the child through the 8 learning modalities to third grade level in
Mm.
90 days.
Wow.
Get a grip on that.
So footsteps too,
The number two, brilliance.
and are there spaces in between?
No.
Okay.
And so I said, "Which I could do this." I did some locally, and then I began perfect. I began to look, and I thought, why, why aren't we in all countries of the world? Can you imagine what would happen to humanity if the literacy rate, if the literacy foundation was built so that they had a voice,
Yeah.
that people could listen, that they felt they knew what was happening in the world. They were all
Yeah.
speaking the same language. Just imagine that. And that's what I imagine every day, to which I created what I call, well, my group I call is the Manifesting Global Solutions Group. And I've created a network, the Global Impact Network. And through this bare, basic, underserved population, I bring resources, mostly nonprofits and other groups and Spirit of the Game and all kinds of people, in 4 pillars: literacy, wellness, environment, and employment. And through those 4 pillars and the people that I collect, so to speak, through the pillars, we're able to go to the populations of the world. And of course, literacy is the most important to me. So, the literacy part, I have created a literacy GIN, Global Impact Network, a literacy continuum, which means the child can get to third grade with the app, but then what? So
Mm.
then I have people that are helping with the teaching the child financial literacy and entrepreneur skills and life skills and this type of a thing with the young entrepreneur um, alliance. So that gets them to 20. And then from 20, they also need coaching in financial literacy and
Yeah.
lifestyles and microcredit. And there is
Yeah.
a group that also can employ them. So from 0 to 30, we've given them the best start that I know how to do
Mm.
by hoping, working, empowering them to help themselves. It's
Mm.
not a giveaway charity. A lot of you people, well, South Africa, all of you people in South Africa or anywhere in Africa, you don't want handouts. You want to be self sustainable. You want to do it yourself. And as a
Yes.
continent, you have the most riches in the whole world
Yes, we do.
and all the abundance that you could ever imagine. And it's learning
Hmm.
how to work with what you have, what tools you can
Yes.
have, how you can move forward with what is not totally apparent, but to make it apparent so that you can go the next step. And that's called literacy.
Hmm. I love
That's
it.
kind of it in a nutshell.
Wow. So tell me, the Global Impact Network, how many countries is it active in?
Well, at this point, if you look at all the people that are part of it, you have Spirit of the Game, you have Women's Global Alliance, you have the UN rescue, refugee groups. You have all different kinds of groups. There are the people that are in the four pillars that are part of the groups. How many countries? I'd say most of Africa, easily. Most of
Yeah.
Africa, if you look at it. Also, Pakistan, India, Philippines, Cambodia, um, Switzerland,
Wow.
Germany, Canada, South America, couple, maybe three. These are the ones that I kind of what I collect. I kind of like my own Peace Corps. Basically, is what I'm doing is to
Yeah.
be able to. I don't know how they respect that. I'll find out tomorrow when I talk to them. But the point is that I am doing everything in my power from what I learned there, by the way, to help them help themselves to help people to become sustainable, self-sustainable. Number, I don't know how many countries. I'm hoping all of them eventually if I live long enough. I got
Yes.
maybe another 25 years if I'm lucky. So we don't know
Well,
that.
if you're listening, look up the Global Impact Network and look up Jaclyn Zoccoli. So
Uh-huh.
Jaclyn. And her surname is Zoccoli, like broccoli. Um, and get in touch with her. Honestly, Jaclyn, this radio station has a global reach. We are in all countries in the world except Greenland.
Oh,
So,
really?
yes.
Cool. How cool.
So if
And
you
by
know
the way,
anybody
you,
in
eh,
Greenland, let us know and maybe we can connect them with the radio.
oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. You have the chart if you want to show them the chart. I mean, it's in there. Did you see that in the chat? All the stuff in the chat.
Yes, I did. There is a lot in the chat, and what I will do with this, actually, I'm gonna
Yeah.
share it on our WhatsApp network,
Mm.
and I'll
Okay.
also share it in the comments later on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Um, but well done. This is amazing, and yes, you are indeed impacting the world.
By the way, we just started in South Africa with footsteps.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's a
But it's a
conversation
big
you and I should
country.
have.
Yeah, it's a big
It's a
country. It's
big
not like
country. It
yeah,
is.
like we can just put it into one school district. We're gonna have to do a little bit more than that. See
Yeah,
how that seed grows.
absolutely. Well, we'll see where it goes and where it takes you. That's amazing. And definitely, if you're watching or listening, check out the app Footsteps with the number two, Brilliance. Um, you never know. You
Yeah.
never know. So,
Well, yeah,
wow,
I'd be
that's
glad to
amazing.
be able to download it for people. It's a lot easier than going. I mean, go to the website, of course, to find out what you want about it. But if you want it downloaded, let me know. I'm more than happy to do that for you.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's just go to the comments quickly. I want to see what people are saying. Ooh. Uh, so we have Diane also tuned in. Diane Bayer, she says, "Good afternoon, everyone." She's tuned in from Philadelphia. So good to have you here with us, Diane. And Christine says the following: I am Christine, Queen of Opportunity, Business Concierge, making connections you've always wanted and needed. So, Diane, Christine, and Catherine have all been Wonder Women. So, you're joining the ranks of some amazing women.
Beautiful,
Jackie.
beautiful.
Aliana, she says, hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday. She is tuned in from Arkansas. So nice to have you here. And then Christine says, that's an amazing gift. And I think she's referring to you having met the lady who's here for a second time. And Aliana is commenting on, she says, I love what you said. What do I do, God?
Hmm.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Also, I love to see the connections, the interactions with one another. So Catherine is talking to Christine, and Christine is, I think, talking back to her. So beautiful. Um, yes, let us jump into a little bit more. You know, Jackie, I speak about Ubuntu, and Ubuntu is something that really drives me. It is because I've always loved people. For as far back as I can remember, I always have. And if you are watching and don't know what it means, here is the definition. Ubuntu is an ancient African word and it means humanity to others. It is often described as reminding us that I am because we are. So, Jackie, because of this belief, I am the person that I am today. I would not be had it not been for my community, the people that I've interacted with and met with along my life's journey. So community is very, very, very important to me. And I know it is important to you too. But really, can you share a little bit about what does community truly mean to you, please?
Well, community to me is to, um, I can't help but tell you the 5 C's of my life, of my networking, because Inger knows them. We know them well, don't we, Inger? That fits in so well in what you're talking about. Community, first of all, when you're speaking to anyone, is commonalities. There are 5 C's. Commonalities is the first one. To be part of a community, there has to be something in common with those people, be it a group, be it individual, whatever, whoever. There have to be commonalities. So the first C is commonalities. The second C is communicating the commonalities. You can sit there and think about it, but if you don't do something to talk about it, it doesn't go anywhere. So communicating is the second C. The third which is the hardest in building any community relationship, is to commit to work together. And we all know what not committing looks like in marriages and all kinds of wonderful things, don't we, Inger? And the point being that you have to commit to work together to make it work. So that's the third C. But if you're just going to commit, you have to have the fourth C, which is to actually contribute. You have to literally contribute to that relationship. And the same in community, it's the same thing. You have to be part of it and to contribute to part of it. And when you do that with an open mind, no judgment, maintaining your own expertise and trust, you get the last one, which is to collaborate. And all of that put together is the glow, the guided love of wholeness. That's my look at community. And those are the steps that need to happen to create that glow that you see behind
Mm,
me in the Serengeti. It's that glow. Believe it or not,
mm,
that's what that is back there. It's that glow that really works together with an open mind, curious. That's no
mm,
judgment. That's listening at a very deep level without advising unless asked.
mm,
So, all of that to me is building community, and it's so important whether it's two people or it's how many, doesn't matter. The point is, it's listening and being aware of others' uniqueness. And as Inger said, she loves to meet people because there's a depth you can't see from the outside. And to explore that and find out through the commonalities where that foundation starts, where that grounding starts between the two of you.
yeah, yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you. Beautiful. Um, I can definitely see that, community's been part of your life since you were a young girl. Um, how is it, how has it been, how has it impacted you? Can you share a little bit more about that? And feel free to tell us a story.
How has community affected me? I couldn't tell
Mhm.
you how many communities I'm part of, and without those communities, there's no. It's kind of quiet on the other side. Um, it's people listening, and uh, let's say, for example, I spoke of the sorority. And the sorority is still very important to me. I'm the president of the alumni group for the Kappa Delta sorority. And those women, for instance, I've known since I was in college. And again, that's another 50 years ago, 60 something years now. That community is so important because they've grown through the years. We've grown through all kinds of things. And as it's said, you are the product of the five people closest to you. I totally believe that.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that started me on the path of friendship. I didn't have a lot of close friends unless they were out there in sports because I was a PE teacher. So, but they taught me friendship. They taught me
Mm,
love. They taught me all of these things. So, of course, I want to
hmm.
have them. And we meet every month since college. Give me a break.
Beautiful. Wow.
It's beautiful. It really is. And yeah, we look a little different than we did then. However, not inside. Not inside. They're still the same crazy women that they were when we met. My big sis, I still keep in touch with her every Sunday, actually, is what I do to make sure she's okay. And my little
Wow.
sis every once in a while. So, um, yeah, community is so important to me.
So, for those that are not familiar with big sis and little sis, can you explain
Yeah,
the concept to us,
yeah,
please?
yeah, probably not. And the sorority system has a whole different look at all different parts of the world, I'm sure. But it's a group of women, and because they are there together in study, in the case of the college, um, they need friendships. They need to have someone very close to them. So the one that adopts them when they come in is the big sis. And the one that the little sis adopts, well, it's the big and little. So in other words, it's those that are nurturing, are mentoring the
Mhm,
ones that are young and coming in. So, they do all types of little fun games or tricks or whatever just to build the friendship
mhm.
while you're in the group. And in our case, it is extended many years beyond the group.
I love that. Jackie, I went to university in South Africa and we didn't have sororities. Sororities are something that we saw actually on TV, you know, especially because when I was younger, we watched a lot of US based television. Um,
I don't know that's good, bad, or ugly.
That's what it
I
was.
know. I
But yeah,
know.
that's what we watched, and so seeing sororities was something that we saw on TV, in the movies, or even read about, right?
Yeah.
But that's interesting, and I like that concept of having a mentor and being a mentor as well.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is beautiful. And it's a closeness that you're really a lot of girls have no relationship with with any other girls as they go through school. A lot of people don't. So that
Yeah.
closeness, that holding their hand, that really mentoring in a real close friendship is what it's really all about.
Mm,
And in our my case, it was a it was, I can't say it was really religious. It was Christian. It was based on the things that you and I speak of love for each other, the whole
mm,
concept. And so, yeah, it was very valuable because, as I said, I did not growing up. Though I was part of all those groups, I really didn't have any super close friends, more than maybe one or two. So this was great to have all these gals go in the same direction.
wow, beautiful. Let's go to the comments section quickly and see what people are saying. So Christine says, I can see how well the uptake rate would be for something so basic that is so powerful. And she's referring to the app. She loves it.
Oh,
Um,
good, good.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
if you
then,
want to know, yeah, let me know because I'll be glad to attach you to it.
yeah, actually, I would love to have a further conversation about that, Jackie. It's very interesting. And then Christine says, so we were laughing about something. She says, "Can you hear me giggling, watching, and listening?" And Catherine says, "If we aren't giggling inappropriately, we need different friends."
Friends, oh man.
Right? And then Christine answers, she says, "Oh, good, we can both stay."
Yeah, life's too short.
And
Life's too short not to have
yes,
fun. Give me a break.
absolutely. Catherine says, "If you aren't willing to invest in others, then you aren't building
Right.
relationships."
Absolutely
Wow.
right. Yeah.
And Diane says, "Unless asked." Yes, so important for us to be present and mindful and willing to wait for someone to ask for our input.
Absolutely, Diane. Beautiful. Beautiful. And I think of that quite a bit when I go around the different countries in the world for footsteps. I don't force it upon anyone. I don't say you have to have it for literacy. I don't know. It's like in the Peace Corps. They asked us. We did not put ourselves in there. They asked us to come and take the place of the teachers that went to get more education so they could teach better. We did not tell them that's what was it. And so it's the same concept of that versus anyone that you're listening to with empathy. And I have to keep asking myself, reminding myself that because I'm the kind of person that you come and talk to me and I'm all about what do you need? That's my main concept in talking to you. What do you need? Because I have the resource for you. So I have to stop myself and say, they didn't really ask for you to fulfill that need. So I am constant, because I'm going, well, I know somebody over in South Africa that can really work with you. They really, no, they didn't ask for that. So I understand what you're saying, Diane.
Yeah. Um, and then Catherine says, the societies at my school didn't want
Oh,
me.
didn't want me. They didn't know you. That's why, Catherine.
Oh, she's hilarious.
Yeah,
She also says, she's answering Diane. She says, if they don't ask, they probably don't want to know, or already know and don't want to be reminded.
good
Hmm.
point. Good point.
And then Christine's just letting us know that she needs to pop out, but she'll be back to watch the rest of the recording. She's sending so much love and hugs to us.
Thank you, Christine. It's important to have you here.
Yes, thank you. Um, so Jackie, how did um faith develop within you? How did you get to that point where you just trusted that everything's gonna work out and you're trusting your internal guidance?
Well, as I said, that conversation with God when I was 6 was and it wasn't until years later that I realized that that really was what had guided me. I that was my resounding umbrella. Of course, the fact that my mother gave me love as much as she possibly could as a single parent. And the interesting thing about that was the day that she died, the last conversation that I had with her most important question was your childhood good? Did you have a good childhood? And at the time
Wow.
I thought, yeah, right. Well, then I realized, well, after she passed, it meant more. But the point was, I realized that that's all she was responsible for. That's all
Mm,
she really could do was
mm,
that. And was
mm.
it good? And once I thought about that, I thought, she did shape all that I became. And that faith that she was always there, God was always there, and I had yet to find that that was not true. Now, the faith I was raised in with a church environment, though I have to admit that mine is a spiritual faith at this point. I don't put myself into any religion. I don't place myself there. That's constructed guideline protocol. I'm closer to God. That's the way it is with me. I don't
Yeah.
go through anyone else. I respect them, don't get me wrong. However, if you really look at it, and I know I'll possibly be criticized for that, if you look at all the religions of the world, their whole foundation is pretty much the same.
Mm,
It's giving love unconditionally. If you really were to put them all into one continuum, if they only realized it, we'd have
right.
a whole different world, wouldn't we? We're all really on the same path.
Yeah.
Don't get me on this topic because my husband would say, religion's the bane of the existence. I said, oh, yeah, right. Don't get me there. However, the point is, I prefer to just communicate with my God as to where I'm going. And I have total faith and trust that whatever's placed in front of me is there for a reason. I may not
Mm,
like it, and I might not see that reason for quite a while after it. However, if I approach it with the concept, is there anything I can do about this? If so, I'll do it. If I can't do anything, or it's not my responsibility to do it, let it go. And then my next thought is, I wonder what God's going to do with this one. I wonder what God's going to do with this one. And that
mm,
puts it totally out of my control. Remember
mm,
that, Inger.
mm,
I
mm.
wonder what God's going to do with this one, and it makes life a lot easier. I mean, my
Yeah.
husband stresses over all the problems in the world and this and that and the other. And I think, can you control that? Not
No.
really. Can you change that?
Yeah.
So why are you wasting your precious moments on this earth with something you can't change? Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense to me. My complete trust, and to think of why that was there. What did I learn? And I was giving a podcast yesterday and I said, let your children fail. Well, there's no
Yeah.
such thing as failure as far as I'm concerned, because if you learned, it's no
Mm.
longer called failure, it's called a lesson. But
Yep.
let them trip.
Yes.
Just be sure that they're not going to really, really hurt themselves. How else are they
Yes.
going to learn?
Exactly.
They can't learn if you do it all for them. You're not doing anyone a
Exactly.
favor. Let them learn.
Exactly. Exactly. We cannot bubble wrap our kids.
Exactly. One of
Can't.
my one of my sons, my husband has two boys, I have two boys, and we have nine grandsons. One of my one great granddaughter, after four generations, finally a daughter. Anyhow, one of them, the oldest, just babied the heck out of his son. Did everything for him, paid for everything, did this and did that. And I thought, oh, I don't know how this is going to go. Well, luckily, his wife, he got a divorce, but the wife had a whole different perspective, and the child has turned out to be really great. I mean, the child at 30. But the point is, he babied him a
Mm,
lot because he's going to have the best. It's got to be the best, and I'll pay for
yeah.
the best. It's really got to, instead of letting him fall and watch and see again, as who was it? Who was it? Christine said, let them figure it out. If asked, I will give you advice,
Yes.
but don't just say, you have to do this, you have to do that, because the main thing is they have to be carefully taught. And however you present yourself is exactly what they learn. So that is so important that we don't realize, oh, they didn't notice that. They don't, yeah, they do.
Mm,
They can learn how to be prejudiced real well.
yeah. Right.
So they have to be carefully taught. And I was very blessed
Mm,
to have a mother that pretty much had blinders on to a lot of the things that were around her, and gave me unconditional love. We were very close.
beautiful. Beautiful. Were you an only child?
No, I had a brother exactly 8 years older, born on the same day, a holiday, um,
Wow.
because my father was a dentist and he could only get holidays off. So no, 8 years older, and of course, 8 is one of my numbers. Now I think about it, I didn't think about it
Mm,
until just now that I came into this world with 8. They waited 8, they had 8 with him, and then they waited 8. I mean, it was quite a sequence. Um, though no, I had a brother who has since passed. So,
mm,
yeah.
okay. Let us go to the comments quickly. We do have about 15 minutes left. So, Catherine says, oh no, they knew me. That's why they didn't want me.
Oh, no, I can't
Con-
believe that, Catherine.
she says, conforming to the ordinary and expected just didn't fit in my parade.
Amen.
I believe that. I love you,
Amen. We
Catherine.
need you. We need you.
Yes, we need that. We do not need to conform. Aliana says, I stopped a couple of times listening to the message today while cooking lunch and washing dishes. I'm glad to hear that there are other women as crazy as I am, saving the world out there. Welcome to the Wonder Women gang. She's talking to you, Jackie.
Thank you, Ilana.
And actually, by the way, you and Ileana should connect. She's also on the path to shining a light on literacy. So definitely
Good. Yeah,
somebody good
please.
to
Please.
connect with. And then Diane is answering Catherine. She says she agrees, and everyone needs to be able to address the issues in their own life on their own time. As Inga knows, one of my quotes is be the main character in your own life. With that mentality, I am just a supporting character in others' lives. Beautiful. And then
Beautiful. Thank you.
Catherine is answering that and she says, that's the people we all need to surround ourselves with. People that encourage us to take our unique journey instead of people determined to shove us in the box they
They
design.
just yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Diane says, fail is first attempt in life.
Ah,
Love it.
nice.
And
Nice.
then
Nice.
Catherine is saying, you most certainly can bubble wrap your kids. They sell bubble wrap in bulk at the building supply store, and it's a lot of fun
Yeah,
rolling them
rolling them
around,
around
popping
the
the bubble wrap.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. I
that's
wouldn't be
right,
surprised if
Catherine.
she tasted
She
that
does that.
too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yes, Catherine has raised three boys. So
Oh,
maybe, just maybe she's done it.
yeah, exactly.
So Jackie, you said that you faced adversity, when your father passed away when you were at the age of 6, and you didn't really have much during your growing up years. But what kind of adversity did you face that this trust has helped you overcome? Would you be willing to share even a short story with us?
Well, there were probably 3 different platforms or phases, I should say, as I was growing through my career that were not successful by any terms. And that concept of knowing that there's a reason for things kept me going.
Mm,
For instance, and I'll mention this one because it was very close to me. Um, Liberia was the country that I was in, and I committed to work with the ambassador from Liberia and with various people in the community, Relief Inc., and the Liberian Liberian created it, nonprofit, to create a symposium. So I was all excited. I was working with all the people that were in the Bay Area in California, and we were going to have dancers, we're going to have booths. The whole point was to get people back into Liberia to bring in more commerce. I had a ball. I really enjoyed it. I was talking to all kinds of dignitaries and political people and everything else, and so on and so forth. It would have been nice if somebody had sponsored it, but at this point, I was doing the volunteering, so I really didn't need it. However, the ambassador said, "Who's sponsoring this event?" And I said, "Well, nobody is sponsoring it. The people are coming and they're paying money to come, and that's going to pay for the hotel and everything else." But he said, "Who's sponsoring it?" And I said, "Nobody's sponsoring it. This is going to be more than enough. I already have 200 people that said they're going to come." He says, "It's over." I said, "What?" He says, "Yeah, we're not having it." Are you kidding? I worked 6 months on this. So I was very disappointed. However, it was a very painful lesson. Be
Mm,
sure you get sponsors before you do anything. And that lesson was repeated at least twice with the same story. I'm just such a rah-rah, you know? I know people want to get together and have fun and to do this, and I know their part would be really great, so on and so forth. So let's do somebody's got to pay for something, huh? Oh. So
mm,
that lesson has repeated. However, I knew that I could still pick myself up, that was placed on my path to learn. And to this day, when people want to have some type of a summit or something else, one of my first questions is, how are you going to pay for this? Uh,
mm.
because my altruistic, passionate self takes over. "Ah, yeah, it'll work somehow. It'll work. God will help it work. I know
Yeah.
it will. The reality is, you really got to pay for it as you go along. So that was a painful. I don't know if that answered your question. I
Oh
got
my
kind of
gosh.
involved.
No, but um, so I did mention this to you, but I'm planning to host a summit in
Oh, yeah.
August.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, who's gonna pay for that, Inger?
Yes, message received loud and clear.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will definitely be looking at that. But yes, if you didn't know, I will be hosting a summit in August. It is the Wonder Women Wednesday Summit, and we're looking for sponsors. So please
Yeah,
reach
see?
out to me if you'd like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be part of it. Thank you, Jackie.
You're welcome. I just thought I'd leave that in for you.
Wow. Yeah. Message received. Thank you. I'll definitely be reaching out and finding out about that. But
Yeah, beautiful.
yes, it's true. We don't, because we're altruistic, we don't think about that. It's just, we just dive right in and donate whatever we have, all our resources. But then we don't realize that that takes away from other money making activities. So where are you going to get the money to pay everything, to pay for everything that you need, right? To sustain you. We don't think
Yeah,
about that. We
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. Which brings up kind of the point. I have probably several hundred people globally that I interact with. And the other day, I looked at my business and that I help people through LinkedIn to build relationships. And I said, what do you really want? And I said, I'd love to combine the two, my global and my LinkedIn.
Oh.
What am I doing? So I decided to create a workshop. And the workshop's on the 19th. And I'm calling it Enhancing Your LinkedIn Profile because 98% of the people that I interact with on a global basis, and there are a lot of them that they need a little love when it comes to their profile.
Mm-hmm.
And they
A
don't have
little.
a clue. They need a lot. I'm being very kind here. The point, that's the common thread. The common thread
Yes.
is, well, I'm here. I've got my picture and I have kind of a picture up here. Do I need to really do it? Oh, by the way, I could put my resume here. Who is going to read your resume? So,
Yeah.
anyhow, I'm doing a workshop enhancing your
Yeah. Who
LinkedIn
cares?
profile, and that's in the chat. And the whole point, also, because it's an hour and a half, a good part of that's going to be bringing all of them together. And let's
Nice.
see what trouble we can get in together. And so, yeah, well, you're troublemakers. We got to have a Christine and a Catherine and a Deanne and Ilana. You're the troublemakers out there.
I can bring trouble too if you like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please,
I'm the
absolutely.
ring reader. That's why they're here.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's awesome. So how can we implement that trust in our own lives to help us overcome? adversity, Jackie? Do you have any, um, even just one big tip that can help us to implement that?
Well, as I said, I feel at peace because I trust and follow my internal guidance, and that's one of my quotes that I love. Something else that I just wrote the other day: the meaning of life is to find your gift. The
Mm,
purpose of life is to give it away.
yes, I
That
remember
was
that quote.
Picasso.
Yes.
Picasso. And when you realize what gift you have, what you do really well, it's giving it away. There are people that need to hear it. There are people that want to hear it. And it's knowing that's, let's face it, in all the years I've been on this earth, we won't go into how long that is, um, there were things that were experiences all along there, good, bad, ugly. Why the
Yeah.
heck were they there? Why were they there? Why they were there was to make me who I am today.
Yep.
So you have to trust that whole process. There's got to be a reason for this whole lineage of everything. And so I look out and I say, how can I actually put that to who comes next to me? Who comes to me? And that's one of the things that I have. I haven't written it down so I can see it well. But that's what I say to God. Who give me, put on my path
Yeah.
the people who need to know of my love for them, that need the resources that I have, that
Yes.
need to hear what I'm saying, and we can
Yes.
walk together. And that's exactly what happens, really, is that I just, not to say that I'm not active. And the other thing I really love is people say, and I say to people, how can you work together? The hows are not my responsibility. Well, yeah, I know. The concept is that God does the house. Yeah, I realize that. However, you have to figure out how to work together to start with and start the path. If you don't start the path, if you
Mm,
don't tell the universe, you don't tell God. If you don't tell the universe, well, I'd kind of like to go over there. Let's see, what can I do to get over there? Let That's where I really, that's it, right? That's the one. The piece with the self-sustain, that's the one. Okay. Now let the rest of it happen. So it's complete trust. That's all. I don't know how else to answer that.
yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let me see. Here we go. Diane says, you need to say that quote again.
One.
I think she's speaking about the
What?
Picasso one.
Okay, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it
Oh,
away.
wow. Yeah. Beautiful.
And the other one that I really love, and I don't want to confuse you by saying something while you write it down. Gary Spence has one that I love: to be open to wonder rather than closed by belief.
Mm,
Be open to wonder rather than closed by belief.
believe.
Gary Spence. And that is so true. We let relief get in the way so many times. What we believe, we think is always true. It's true because I believe it. Who says it's true?
Mm,
Who, who fed you that one? Was
yeah.
it your mother that thought that that's the way it has to be? No. Be open
Yeah.
to wonder. Be curious. The what
Yes.
if? What if we did this? Look at the positive instead of the, that didn't work. So what? Move on. Move on. Or,
Yeah.
do the blame right away. Bing, bang, done, blame. Now move to solution.
Be open to wonder rather than
Not be
closed by
closed by
belief.
belief.
It
Absolutely. Gary
reminds me of
Spence.
it reminds me of a quote by Walt Whitman, and it says, Be curious, not judgmental.
Yep.
A lot of the time, our beliefs make us judgmental,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
That is the sad truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Diane says it's beautiful.
Thank you,
thank you so
Diane.
much. And
Thank you.
Catherine says just because they say it
It
is
doesn't mean
true
it's true.
doesn't mean it is the
Absolutely.
truth. Yeah,
Amen. Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jackie. Oh my word, what a conversation. Thank you. I knew that this conversation was going to be amazing and blessed. So thank you for coming and availing yourself to be in conversation with me today and allowing me to highlight you. You are amazing. You're doing amazing things,
Thank you.
impacting the world. You've impacted me, and I thank you for that.
Mm. Ubuntu.
Thank you. Okay. So where can people find you if they want to get in touch? What is the best place?
Well, it's all there in the chat if you wanted to put it in the chat. But
Yes.
on LinkedIn, I am Jaclyn Zoccoli. Jaclyn. I'm not Jackie, and that's another whole story we don't want to take time with. So the point is Jaclyn and Jaclyn Zoccoli. I'm sorry. .com is my website. So if you've
I'm
got the
gonna
name,
put
either way, you're going to find the website, and that tells a lot. And yeah, yeah, that's the one right there.
the website is scrolling across your screen, and if you prefer, you can also reach out to Jaclyn Zoccoli on LinkedIn. Otherwise, visit her website, jaclynzoccoli.com, and you can find out so much information about her there. Jackie, you're doing amazing things, as I said, and I'm
Thank you.
honored to know you. Thank you for spending time with us. And I'll send you to the green room as I wrap up here. Be blessed.
Ubuntu. You too.
Thank you. And if you're still watching, I want to say thank you for spending your time here with us. And also, I'd love to invite you to come on over to africa.co.za and join us. Listen in as I wrap up the show on radio. I'm going to be sharing a few tips about how to harness this mentality that Jackie spoke about, that trusting her inner guidance, because that is a really good way to live and to overcome adversity. So come on over, come spend a little bit of time with me on radio on the website. You can just click africa.co.za and click listen live, and we'll be continuing the conversation on that side. Anyway, everybody, take care, be blessed, and check us out on radio. Until next time, remember, we have a summit in a few weeks. I'm excited for that, and I hope you can be part of it. So, until next time, take care, be blessed, and see you soon.